Now, moving on, the U.S. Department of War has released its National Defense Strategy 2026, and according to it, the U.S. will be offering more limited support to allies. In a significant shift to its security priorities, the U.S. Department of Defense now considers security of the U.S. Homeland and Western Hemisphere as its primary concern, instead of China. Previous versions of the strategy, which are published every 4 years, has named the threat posed by China as the top defense priority, although according to the 2026 report, relations with China will now be approached through strength, not confrontation. The defense strategy reinforces recent calls from President Donald Trump, including for greater burden sharing from allies in countering threats posed by Russia and North Korea. Now for this discussion, we welcome back Mr. Keith Vaz. He's a former Britain minister, joins us live from London. Thank you very much, Mr. Vaz, for staying with us. As you know, we were discussing about Americans, how they push their own agenda in places. What do you think the change or the shift of tone in National Defense Strategy 2026, and also can you tell us what's your analysis towards the change in China to North Korea?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question, Asuma. I think something's happened. Could you repeat the question?
Yes, sorry. Of course. Oh, don't worry. Yeah, so I was asking, what do you think was the change that's, highlighted about America pushing their own agenda? We were talking about this earlier, and then in National Defense Strategy of 2026.
Well, I think it'll come as a bit of a surprise to allies that there is now going to be a new framework. Of course, these policy documents are very useful, and we've seen them before, and people pore over them and they decide whether or not this is a change of activity. However, much more relevant is the fact that the president can change the strategy at any time. So although it's useful to know, it is actually part of an overall strategy, that it's going to go beyond the European alliance, it's going to go beyond NATO, and it's going to encompass other countries. But there's a dichotomy here. On the one hand, you talk about the broader brush of dealing with China. On the other hand, you are concerned about the way in which China is operating. So these documents, these strategies are very useful. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, they can be changed at a moment's notice by the president.
So how do you think, how frustrated is President Trump right now? And what's the situation of the alignment of U.S. and Europe right now?
It's fractured. I can't tell you, Asuma, how upset people are in the UK about Donald Trump's statement concerning the situation there. They are very, very upset. They are very, very upset about the statement that the NATO allies did not do anything specifically in order to support the Americans, that they stood back, they didn't put themselves on the line. Of course they did. 485 British soldiers died in that conflict, and people are very worried and upset that they're just not being listened to. So I think it is important that we should look at ways in which we should try and alter that situation.
Indeed.
How do we regain the confidence of the Americans? This is the crucial thing. How do we sit down and try and reset the relationship? It has to be done.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for highlighting that and sharing that insight with us on NewsX World.